Little Black hurriedly got up, found no one, as a warning echoed from the network. The plane is set for a dramatic exit in 30 seconds. Little Black can only force himself to strap on a parachute and prepare for a high dive competition from thousands of meters high. After a dizzying experience, he miraculously opened his parachute and survived, only to find it's Little White driving. A week ago, he entered the police evidence room to inject Little Black's pen with the new sleeping pill drug. Then, using Lee Joo-hoon's superpower, he cleverly dealt with all of Little Black's lackeys and conveniently planted a bomb on the plane. Lastly, leveraging the abilities of adventurer Song Ji-suk, he made a smooth high-altitude leap, landing effortlessly with a daredevil performance. After knocking Little Black down, Little White donned gloves, planning to spice things up a twister code when death suddenly showed up to step. But Little White was resolute, charging up to avenge An-suk, and just then, his pen slipped from his pocket, and he recalled what Jae-soo once said, hoping for a happy ending to this PK movie. Little White approached death with slow steps, and 1 week afterwards, he went to visit Little Black in the hospital. He was satisfied with this outcome, making sure Little Black got to experience the joy of better dead than alive before heading to hell. Little White gradually adapted to An-suk's life, until one day during a drug bust, he dove off a rooftop to save Little Fish, ending his 7th reincarnation. Little White woke up again, this time as a hobo, and the first thing he saw was the news on hero An-suk. Curiosity about his own funeral sparked in him, and he decided to go live to investigate. Sadly, his strong stench turned An-suk's colleagues against him. What an embarrassment. On his way out, he met Little Fish, guilty in the stairwell. Little White, comforted but was grabbed, asked what right he had. The question left Little White speechless. After 70 reincarnations, he realized he didn't really have a stand either. At that moment, a memory gem suddenly appeared. He thought, I don't want more memories, please. A moment of negligence, and he tumbled down the stairs. Little White was now totally numb to death. Now that vengeance was settled, he lost interest in fate altogether, just wanting to end this boring game as soon as possible. At the end of this game, a pain awaited that far exceeded Little White's imagination. Awakening again, he started back once more. He rushed towards the street, looking forward to jumping into the next round, glancing at his 7 years younger self, thinking whatever you do, don't seek death. But he couldn't bring himself to say it. Little Black walked over, accompanied by death. At that moment, Little White truly understood what Little Black meant. The one who unlocked Little Black's killing seal was himself. Having gone through 10 deaths, Little White felt a calm within. He urged Death to shoot quickly, desperate to end it all sooner this time. Death smiled faintly, sensing Little White's fear of suicide. The night was eerily quiet as Little White turned his head. What he saw felt familiar. After a moment of daze, he suddenly realized wasn't this his home. An ominous feeling washed over him. Mom, before this, Little White always thought he knew her well, but when he viewed her memories, he realized how not free he had been. After Dad passed, Mom had single-handedly held the family together. In Little White's eyes, Mom had always been a giant, never bowed by life, but which Mom was once a fairy splattered with mud. They swapped into armor post-birth, pretending as giants, making kids think they are unbreakable. If anything happened to the child, those giants would crumble instantly. The next day, he visited the shrine and saw Mom unwaveringly paying her respects every day. She even received the letter of suicide had written before. In that letter, he complained of life's unfairness, bravely placing all the blame on Mom. Mom, yeah, I'll definitely meet good parents in my next life. I hope you live well next time. Mom is at a distance. I can only silently keep an eye on you from afar. I won't pretend to know you, I'll just keep watching you. However, in the next life ahead, you must absolutely, positively live. 32 years flew by in the blink of an eye, just as Mom wished. Little White reached the end of his life. Once upon a time, he once thought death was a remedy that would cure the disease of life. However, pain made time stretch painfully long. But pain only took up a small portion. Happiness was quite the opposite, as he plowed through the simplicity of life. When Little White grasped this, it was already too late. He pleaded with death for another bullet. This time, he wished to live once again as himself. Death handed the gun to Little White. Whether the gun had bullets was up to fate. Little White took it, closed his eyes, hesitating briefly. He squeezed the trigger, whispering softly, Mom. Well, this tale of life and death comes to an end here, and don't forget to subscribe. Just like the test question, the answer to the first was two people. A killer would leave one alive to watch him slaughter the other.